Well, welcome back. We are on our last and final signature, number 4. But what I'd like to first cover will be our inserts into the 2 pockets that we made. So I cut 2 pieces that are 8 by 8. And then I took from the 8 by 8 packs. You can pick whatever 2 you want because there's plenty of paper left. So out of the 8 by 8 pack, I chose this for one side, and then I chose this for the other side. For the other one, I chose this as my one side, and then this as the other side. Try and get these so that they're the right direction. And then I'm taking a couple of my larger brass elements, and I'm going to create a little pull on the end of these, and then I'm going to tape this section, and then I'll glue around the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done so that we can get these inserted and out of the way. So I'm going to kind of, well, these are 8 by 8. So where's, goodness sakes, come here. Where's 4 inches? Right there. Beep. Okay, so I am going to put this right here. And then I'm going to take a strip of tape. And I'm using a crochet yarn, real thin, and I've just doubled it over so it'll give it strength over time. And I'm just going to press that tape right onto it. And then I'm going to glue make sure I have it right side up, and then I'm just going to glue these on. Oh, come on. This happens to me a lot. I think it's because I leave it open for too long and then it dries up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try and move that out of the way just a little bit. Now when I cut these 8 by 8, I cut my pattern paper so that it was cut at 7/8 by 7/8. You know, I didn't finish that. It was cut 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. And then I wanted the lighter side here, so we're going to glue down this side. And again, you can pick whatever 4 sheets out of the 8 by 8 pack that you want. But like I said, you're going to trim them down to 7 7/8 square. And what that leaves you is just about 1/16 of an inch all the way around. So that is the first one. And I'm going to I'm really quick, put the second one together. So again, I'm going to kind of mark where 4 inches is. Okay. And then I'm going to glue I'm doing this first before I do the signature because I forgot them on one video. So I'm doing them first so I don't have to go back and make a correction, because this is going to be our last signature that I'm making. All right, and then I want this as my back side, so I am going to glue this one. Okay. These aren't that difficult to make, but you do want them to look nice. I gotta pull this way just a little bit. There we go. All right, so if I grab my album, this is going to come in here, right here. And then this one, oh, what's going on here? Huh, I'll have to take a look at that. And then this one's going to go in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get our last signature put together. I'm going to cap off my glue because I think it's going to be a bit before I get to it. All right. So let's start right off the bat with our base page. And as you can see, we're going to have a double waterfall. Our base page still measures at 8 3/8 across by your 8 5/8 in the height. I love this, so pretty. I'd love to have a sweater out of this pattern. All right, so we're going to have two different sizes on this waterfall. We're going to have a 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. You're going to score here on the short end at 1/2 inch. You're going to make 6 of these. Okay? And then we're going to do 6 1/2 by 4, scoring at the short end at 1/2 inch. And there's going to be 4 of these. You can go ahead, and I forgot to do mine, so while you're cutting and trimming, I'm going to go ahead and get tape on mine, and I just started to add that to the wrong side. For goodness sakes. I thought I was all ready. That off. So 1, 2, 3. Here's the 4th one. All right, I'm going to go. Well, I need to do these, so I'm just going to do them now rather than wait. It's still the same amount of video time. I'm just going to get them done and get them out of the way. I like to try and have this stuff done because to me it's just a waste of time for you, but I forgot. So my apologies. All right, got those done. Now, bear with me just a shake. I have to burnish these. Because I can see the air pockets in them. All right, we're done. So we are going to line up the larger ones on the bottom. And you're going to come in roughly so that you have the same distance here and here, which is about almost a ½ inch. On both ends. And you're going to come up we want to make sure we get these placed in here right so you don't have any sizing issues. This is kind of how I go about it. I'm just going to line all these up, keep them in formation. And we're going to tip them over. And of course, they all fall apart. This edge here needs to line up with this edge. It will not end up here because these are smaller sizes, but we always want an edge to start even. So that's... I'm just thinking, I did this on one other one before and it was a lot easier to do. You know, if you cut a piece that measures, you can line all this up on this piece and then put it down, which is what I think I'm going to do very quickly. It doesn't take that much, so I'm 3 inches. So this is going to be 3 by 3.5. All right, I'm just going to set this aside. So I'm going to take, it's roughly the same amount of video time, so I apologize, but it's going to be easier so you don't have your waterfall taken off on a canter unless you're comfortable doing it. So I'm just going to take these off rather quickly. Line them up on that edge. They cascade quite nicely. And what's nice is if you do have one that's cantering off to the left or the right, it's easier to fix it here than it is on your base page. And then this one will go on that last ½ inch that we cut. And they're a nice cascade. Okay, let's burnish this. And then we're going to pull this back down here. And then we're going to attach this right here. And you can see that we're going to have about 3/8 of an inch here, 3/8 of an inch here, and probably about a 1/2 inch here. We don't want these interfering with each other. So I'm going to be brave and glue this down. Because if I have an issue, these are taped, so I can take those off. So I'm going to come in here, down about 3/8 of an inch, come in about 3/8 of an inch, lay this down, and I'm just going to lay it down. Okay, so I'm going to cut another piece, and this one's perfect, but it only needs to be 2 inches. Sometimes trying to get in at an angle where I can do the work and you can see what I'm doing, sometimes it's just almost impossible. We have the last 1/2 inch. All right, so I want to kind of eyeball where I want this, so it's going to line up even with this edge. And we're going to be up about 3/8 of an inch off the bottom. Okay, so let's try and square this up a bit. I'm going to stand up real quick. Okay, pretty good. Let's turn it over. And I'll burnish in that glue. All right, so now we'll cover we're going to cover these. So I took from the 8x8, I cut out this card. This is also out of the 8x8. And I cut it to trim in here as my backing. And then I'm putting, it's one of the journaling cards out of the 8x8, but I want the front image. If you want to use the reverse, that's entirely up to you. And then I cut out of the same sheet, I was able to cut my larger backing for here. And I used this journaling card here, I use this to put down here. Now in my scraps, I need to separate these just a second. Okay, in the scraps, I used this piece of paper twice. I'm going to put them, I was going to put them in order, but I kind of messed that up just now. Which way is this going to go? I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm just going to put them on. Okay, so I cut 1/2-inch strips to cover these ends right here, and I'm just going to simply glue them on fairly quickly. I'm not going totally end to end. I'm just coming a fraction of an inch off of each of the ends. Now I realize that these are supposed to be for 6-inch photos. So you can cover these up if that's what you want, or you can trim down your 6-inch photos 1/4 of an inch on each end so that you don't have to cover these up. And I cut one too many, so that's fine. Okay, so that's what you have there. And then I did it again for this top piece. And I probably cut an extra one as well. Now you have lots of scraps, so you can use whatever color combo you want. That's entirely up to you. Getting glue on the tips of my fingers, so when I pick these up, I'm flipping them around and they're not staying in their cut order. Because what I'm trying to do is match this up so that these seams remain the same. And I think this one goes this way. Beautiful. All right, now on the inside, I used another scrap that I have, and these are 3/8 of an inch strip, and they're going to go right here on the hinge. And I used the paper. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That one's too long. Did I do that to all of these? How come? Well, what happened? I thought I was doing quite well. So what I need to do is cut these. Oh, I know what I just did. Oh, I am so angry with myself. And I did that to all 3 of them. Okay. That was the strips for this side. So I'll go, okay. All right, so now I've got myself a little bit flustered here. So cut 3/8 of an inch strip for each of these bands, and they're gonna go right here to hide your hinge. I'm gonna come back to that because I'm gonna have to track down on my scraps and make 2 long pieces that will fit over here. All right, so let's move on. We're going to have a front, a left and a right closing panel. And I'm going to give you those measurements right now. Hold on, I'm capping off my glue. I apologize. All right, so you're going to have right and left, and it's going to be left over right. So let's start with that one first. This one is going to measure at 6 5/8 across by 8 5/8 in the height. But this time you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch because we have some buildup taking place here with our waterfalls, and as the photos get added, these are going to expand a little bit, so we need to make sure that there is enough room here that they can expand underneath and not force this panel to do this. All right, so I'm going to put this on, and I want this gusset to be on top, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in just a second. So I'm bringing my paper up to the 1/2 inch mark, and then I'm going to fold this over. So then what it does, when you push back on this, it has this gusset on top of the buildup that's behind it. Does that make sense? Because if you put this piece of paper here, then it's flat. You don't have the room for the growth. All right, right side. It is going to measure at 4 4, excuse me, it's going to measure at 5 1/4 across by your 8 5/8, and again you're going to score this at a 1/2 inch and at 3/4 of an inch. So again, this is going to be 5 1/4 inches across by 8 5/8 of an inch, scoring at a 1/2 inch and scoring at 3/4 of an inch. And again, we want this gusset on the top, so we're bringing our base page right up to that 1/2 inch score mark. So that then when this folds over and you push back on this gusset, now you've created a little bit of a booklet, if you will. So your gussets are here on the top. Let's get some magnets placed. And because of the weight that will take place on this, by the time you get your photos in, we're going to place a magnet here and here so that there's some good strength in keeping this closed. I don't believe that one magnet would actually suffice. So this being the shorter one, we're going to place our first magnet here. Because you got plenty of room on the other one. Come in about an inch. Come in about an inch. Okay, so then when we close this, they're back here, so there was plenty of room here on this edge. So let's get these taken off. Now when I fold my left panel over, I'm going to make sure that this is all square and in alignment before I commit. I want to make sure that my gussets here are standing straight. They haven't collapsed on me. They haven't folded in or folded backward. And then we're just going to give this a little slide to take them off. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of tape for extra hold power. All right, now in here, I've learned a trick to keep myself all squared away. I am labeling things. So this is my C panel and this is my D panel. So this is my D work over here and this is my C work over here. So we're playing with some beautiful greens and blues on this. And this is out of your 12 by 12, as well as this is the second piece that was cut from this. So when I get this open here, we are then going to take some of our scraps, use whatever scraps you want. I cut a 2.5 inch pocket, and then the length of it is measured from this gusset line to the end here of the page. And I will always start here at the end of the page when I put this down. If there's going to be a gap, I'd rather it be back here because I don't want it to interfere with this hinge that we've created with that score mark. Now, I have magnets here, so I'm going to use tape to secure this. Okay. Give it a good burnish here. Take those off. And then I'm just going to line up here. I don't know about you, but I have two garbage cans, one on my left and one on my right. And I just fling stuff hoping that it's going to hit the garbage cans. And when I'm done, it's all over the floor. I just thought I'd share. Kind of don't know if that happens to you or not. Sometimes I share too much. I should just keep my mouth shut, huh? All right, so this is our 2 1/4. 2 1/4 by, looks like 5 5/8. And again, I'm going to start my mount here on this corner, and then I'm going to come in this way. Line it up right there and follow it in, and I am just in front of that, so that's okay. Now from my scraps, I chose this nice springy piece. It's actually the reverse side of what we just placed down as our base page on this. Set that in, and then I want to start here. Start here and then go this way. And then from the sticker packet, I took there are two stickers that look like postage stamps. I mounted them on some chipboard to give them some backing because I'm going to put them here and I wanted them to stand out just a little bit. So I'm just going to glue that in place. I did the same thing with the other postage looking sticker. And that's going to go here on our right side. So just going to stick this down here. Oh, let's try and straighten that out just a little bit. I just saw that that wasn't even on there straight. There we go. Okay, so let's come on over here. And then we're going to do the same thing. Now, as we're nearing the end of finishing this up, you have a lot of rub-ons. As it's your album, the rub-ons that I have, I'm going to send with this album to the buyer. And then they can place the rub-ons wherever they want them. There are some beautiful opportunities throughout this album to put some down, but I don't want to take up their photo spots, so I will wait and not do it. So this one's going to measure at 4.5 by 2 1/4. Okay, where'd you go? And once again, we're going to place on the outside corner and we'll work our way in. And hopefully I did a good job at measuring this. Perfect, it's right in front of the score mark. Then we're going to glue. Then we're going to add, oh, okay, I'm out. Hold on. I thought I had enough left, so I apologize. I do have to get some more, and I've got to make some crinkle noises here, so I apologize. Just coming into the inside. And then we're going to glue. This is the other sticker. Okay, so that's what we have for the inside of our album. And again, you can put a sticker, you can put an ephemera piece up here as a tuck. That's entire. I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm not going to change course right at the moment here. All right, so let's close this up. Oh, I know what I forgot to cut. I just saw it. I forgot to cut the piece for this. All right. From your 12 by 12, there's this piece here. You're going to pull it out. We're going to trim this side, and then we'll trim the other side, because on the other side we're flipping it over. So we're going to trim this. It's going to get trimmed to fit. You're going to put it in here like so, and then we're going to create a corner pocket tuck, and I do need to cut a piece for this. So this ended up being 3 3 1/8. Well, that's an odd measurement. 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. So it's got to be 3 by 3. So I'm not sure what piece I want to play with. This is pretty. We'll use this. Can I get a 3 by 3 out of this? The reason I'm saying 3 by 3 is then I'm going to cut it on the diagonal. And if it was 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, I should be able to do a 3 by 3, and it will fit beautifully. And I'm going to put some, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put some tape here. All right, so we're ready to go. So we're going to put, because I've got magnets here, I'm going to tape this side down. You know, this piece of paper, if someone was really good at coloring, oh my gosh, can you imagine what you could do with this? I'm not good at coloring. I'm not good at inks. But wouldn't that be fun to take a couple of these, the more dynamic pieces on this, and color them in? Like the bird, this beautiful flower right here, some of these green stems. I just think it would be kind of fantastic. I'd love to see it if somebody can do that. I think it would be so pretty. Okay, so this piece here is just going to sit down like so. All right, now we're going to take this guy and we're just going to stick it in the corner. On this side here, it will help to add some stability as well to that hinge we've created. Now, ideally, it would be nice to find something, but I'm not going to take up the video time to do that. So I'll let you embellish that later. Okay, let's get to this. All right, so the larger side to this cut is this piece. We're going to use one of the larger frames. I'm using this statement out of the ephemera. That's going to sit up here. And then this large floral ephemera basket is going to come down here at the bottom. And then we're going to put the bunny right in front of the basket. So this is what this is going to look like once it's all put together. Okay, so let's start with getting this piece down. Smile. I don't know if you can see that or not. All right, it's going to be easier to start with the title and put it up here. I don't want to be right on top of this edge here, but it does need to be close to the top so that when we put this in here, there's room to still build up down below. Now, I'm only going to tape this edge and this edge. I'm leaving this open so that a photo can come in behind it. Once the photo's in place, then you can tack down this corner and it will secure that photo. You can also use something like undo and remove the tape if you want to slide that photo back out of there. So I'm going to do the very edge and I'm going to use 1/4 inch tape because we want to save all the room in the center for the photo to go in and get tucked. So this is what I've done, just this much of the tape, and now this is going to come in here like this. So until this gets tacked down, it's going to probably pop up on that upper right corner a bit, but it is what it is. I'm not tacking it down yet. Okay, am I balanced in there? Is that level? Okay. Secure the tape on both of those. This remains open. And now we're going to glue this in place. And I'm going to glue the frame because I know where its position is. I don't know where it is on the back of the embellishment that I'm putting on. So I'm going to glue the frame. And then I'm going to situate. Be careful of the edge. I don't want this going all the way over there to create a, let me pull that down just a little, create a problem with the page opening or closing. And then we're just going to add this cute little bunny to the front of that basket. I could probably offset him just a tad bit. Okay, so this is your final signature. This is what we've done. I'll find an embellishment to put here. So you take your time, figure out what you want to do there. And then we've got the 2 pockets and we've got the waterfalls. I still need to come in here and finish this, but I've got to locate my scrap piece. So let's go ahead and let's get the tape out. We can get this in our album. And then we'll be done. You have quite a bit of paper left. You have enough to actually make a folio if you're so inclined. I have folio videos. Or if enough of you show interest and let me know in the comments, I'll make a folio out of the rest of the paper. And then I will link it to this video series. so that you can come back and easily find it. Album. So we're going to lay this right in here just like this. I am going to go ahead and remove this piece. I wish you could see my floor. Good grief. Turn it this way. And then I'm going to come right to the end. And I'm going to balance in between these here. Press this seam down. You see you have a lot of room back here. You can put another photo here, you can put a photo here, you can do some journaling and place it in here on a separate piece of paper. All right, let's go ahead and let's get... Now, these hinges, these gussets that we created that are on the end, this one here always tries to collapse, and that's because it's large. It's also not supported yet. So once I get this tape off of here, I will control how it lays down by pushing back on it to straighten it out, and then I'll lay it down before I commit the tape, and that will keep it from collapsing. Okay, let's get this burnished. I don't have much of an edge here to deal with, so I'm now you also have plenty of paper that if you want to come in here and cover the back sides, you can. It's up to you. But there we have it. We're done. And I really thank you for hanging in there. So until the next video series, have a good day. Bye-bye.